Dropshipping in 2026 is not dead. It's just that 99% of the people are doing it the dumbest way possible, and I can prove it with one decision that I made that changed everything. I started a new dropshipping business and I worked on it every single day for 365 days, and we did over $1 million in revenue. But if I had followed the normal dropshipping method, I'm almost certain it would have failed. And the reason comes down to one thing people don't understand: how viewers behave online. So imagine someone scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. You only have a split moment to catch their attention. It's just swiping after swiping after swiping, and their brain only picks up something when it hits a trigger. Buying works the same way in 2026. People are shopping on autopilot. They don't want to think about things. They don't want to trust a new brand, and they don't want to take risks. So if your entire business model is, hey stranger, click on my ad, come trust my brand, buy from this random website you've never been to, you're trying to wake up someone's brain while they're programmed to ignore you. This is why if you've tried dropshipping or are currently dropshipping on Shopify, it feels really hard. Now, most gurus will tell you to run more ads, to run better ads, to build a better funnel system, but that's like telling you to win a fight with one arm tied behind your back, and by me telling you just punch harder. While it can work, the odds are drastically against you. So instead, what I did was change the environment. I didn't try to convince people to trust me. I put my products where trust already existed. Here's the one thing I did that changed the entire thing for me. I removed Shopify out of the equation. And not because Shopify is bad, I sell on Shopify to this day, but because an unknown store has trust problems. And in 2026, trust is very expensive. You have to pay for it through ads. You have to pay for it through content and through lots of time. And I didn't want to pay for trust, so I borrowed it. I moved my store to marketplaces. I started with Wayfair, then Amazon, then Walmart, and then Home Depot. These platforms already have what you're trying to build from scratch. They have traffic and they have trust, and they also have buyers who are ready to spend money. And here's where it gets crazy. With a Shopify store, you typically drive paid traffic to a handful of products. On marketplaces, I could list thousands of products from domestic wholesale suppliers in bulk. And I'm not going to pretend that this was easy or instant, because there's a second loop here most people don't see. Listing the products was actually the easy part. It was building the operations that was more difficult. And this is where I really struggled for a while. I got my first sale, then the second sale, and then the next thing I knew, fulfillment was a chaos. I had a bunch of orders shipping from different locations, from different platforms. There were tracking numbers that had to be submitted. There were suppliers' data that had to be managed. There were ETAs, there were customer expectations. So once I validated the demand, I did the part that was not so sexy, and that's building a nice system for it. I connected everything to ShipStation to handle orders cleanly. I hired VAs to handle listings and account management, and this way the business became more consistent. So now let's zoom out for a moment and compare the two dropshipping models. There's traditional dropshipping, which forces you to spend money to get attention. My approach plugged into attention that already existed. And that's why it scaled, not because I found a magic product or that I'm really good at this. I'm actually really not. But I do have to give a disclaimer that I didn't go into this dropshipping challenge completely blind. I had over a decade of experience selling products online, and I do run other businesses which helped me throughout my journey. But the method itself is quite simple. You don't need a fancy brand or any crazy marketing techniques. You just need the right placement and to build a system after the first marketplace work, and then double down on things that work and just keep repeating the process. And this is exactly what I did. I added more suppliers, I added more products, I added new marketplaces, because every supplier and every new marketplace was essentially additional revenue. So I spent hours researching, and I attended trade shows to meet suppliers in person, and I made a bunch of phone calls, and I just kept getting rejection after rejection. But I did get a few accounts opened up with new suppliers, and that's all I really needed, because each supplier typically carries thousands of SKUs already. And because this method didn't require ads as a foundation, it was time consuming, but it created something that turned into something even bigger than I thought it would. Now, even after a year, the business still runs to this day. I eventually merged it with one of my other companies so it could operate smoother without me being involved as much. So the real lesson behind all of this isn't that dropshipping works or doesn't work, but the lesson is that any model can really work. You just have to stop copying what other people do and instead tweak the methods a little bit to make it unique. Because in 2026, attention is expensive, trust is expensive, and distribution is everything.